Hello, everyone. This is the Board Game Lawyer. Today I'm going to attempt to finish my Marvel Champions Galaxy's Most Wanted campaign. And now, before we go on, we'll just say that Marvel Champions, they're a product of Fantasy Flight Games. Now, I love playing Marvel Champions. You should know that by now. If you've seen any of my other videos, I really like to play this game. But this campaign right here, the Galaxy's Most Wanted, I think that this particular campaign was designed for someone who is well above my skill set. I played it a few times when it first came out, and then after a few games, I just kind of put it away for another day. I went back to playing Rhino and Red Skull, guys that I thought I could handle. But then I made a deck that I really like. It's my Spider Woman deck, and it uses both leadership and justice. And then I listened to one of my favorite podcasts, Critical Encounters, and they of course went through all the different characters and all of the scenarios, and I thought, well, maybe I'll try it out again. And so let's test it out and see how I do. So we'll just kind of briefly talk about what led me to this point in the campaign. Now, I like to play the expert campaign on these campaigns from Fantasy Flight Games. And so the only difference is in the expert campaign is that you pay attention to the text that's brought out in these gray boxes. So while I play the expert campaign, I'm playing it in standard mode. So the villains, villain stage 1, villain stage 2. I just use the standard encounter set or modular set. But I use the expert campaign, and so I chose to go ahead and use the deck customization restrictions here that say, once a player starts an expert campaign, they cannot add, remove, or change the aspect and or basic cards in their deck, following the deck customization rules for the remainder of the campaign. However, campaign-specific cards can be added to their deck as per the campaign rules. So I decided to use the gray text as well as that particular restriction right there. And so far, I've done pretty good. I've made it to Ronan the Accuser. This is the final boss, so to speak. I went through the campaign here. We went through the Brotherhood of the Badoon. And I beat this one and on my first try. And it was fun. I really liked that one. This one here, Infiltrate the Museum. I did lose this on my first attempt. But then I went back and tried it again, and I was able to defeat it. My deck's just not built for this type of a scenario, and so I had a little bit of a challenge with that one. But then when we went through the Escape the Museum, no problems at all whatsoever. I beat that one on the very first try. And then we went up against Nebula, which is historically I've had trouble with Nebula. In fact, there's a couple of times I never made it to Ronan because I couldn't make it past Nebula, but I did beat Nebula on my first try. And so that leads us then to our final scenario, which is Ronan the Accuser. So we need to take a look at Ronan here just for a moment to see what his abilities are. So Ronan the Accuser, he has a scheme of 2, an attack of 2. He comes into play with a toughness card on him, and when Ronan the Accuser activates against you, give him 1 additional boost card if you control the Power Stone. Okay, so Ronan the Accuser, he comes into play with 14 hit points right there on stage 1. And he has a tough card. So we'll just put that out here too. Then his main scheme reads, and I'll grab those cards. He plays with Interception Imminent and Take What Is Mine. So those are the main schemes in the campaign in this particular scenario, and we've taken care of the contents of our decks already, but it tells us to put the Kree command ship environment and the Milano support into play, attach the universal weapon to Ronan the Accuser, and attach the Power Stone to the first player. So the Kree command ship, this is an environment that reads, it's an aerial vehicle. It gives you an additional encounter card, and it says the first player interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, exhaust the Milano and spend 1 resource of any type. Cancel that card's when revealed effects. So even though it deals us an additional encounter card, we can actually cancel by using our um, Milano, and it tells us that we can use the Milano. So I'll just set the Milano over here for now because we'll be using that ourselves. It also tells us here on our main scheme that we need to bring out the universal weapon. So Ronan has the universal weapon. It gives him an additional scheme and attack attached to Ronan the Accuser. Ronan the Accuser gains stalwart, which means he can't be confused or stunned. He has a hero action on him. Take 2 damage to deal to yourself 1 face down encounter card. Shuffle universal weapon into the encounter deck. So you can remove it, but you have to take 2 damage and you have to shuffle it into your deck and maybe see it again on that first pass through the deck. And then it says to attach the Power Stone to the first player, and I have the Power Stone right here. So I'll set that down there because that'll be mine. All right, so let's flip that over and see how this starts. It says exhaust. First player action, exhaust the Milano, remove 3 threat from the scheme, so we can exhaust the ship to remove threat. It starts with 2 threat. It gets 2 threat added to it. When it hits 7, it's complete. And so we'll go ahead and put our threat out there on our main scheme. So it begins with 2 threat on it. Now there is some additional setup here in the campaign, and I'll just briefly touch on that. It says reveal the Kree Supremacy side scheme, which is part of the campaign, and it has 2 sides. Well, I've been using the standard side because I've been playing in standard mode. So the Kree Supremacy is a side scheme, standard mode only. Hinder 3, which means I have to add 3 to the 6. So it begins the game with 9 threat on it, and again we have another one of these icons, which is going to deal us an additional encounter card. I am seeing a theme here. All right, and I don't like it. So we put 9 threat on the Kree Supremacy. Tough card on Ronan. Next, in our setup, it says if the player's identity was recorded in the Power Control Stone control section of the campaign log, which my name was, I'm playing solo, and I ended with the Power Stone in my control, it says to search the deck for a copy of You Stand Accused. It's a treachery card, and deal that card to the player face down as an encounter card. So I already have 1 encounter card that I have to deal with, and it's You Stand Accused. When revealed in hero form, Ronan the Accuser attacks you with +1 attack. Terrible. Okay. All right. Now we're not done. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Pincer Maneuver. That's this one right here. It's a side scheme. And reveal it. And it has additional rules here, but it says Hinder 2, and it starts with 3, and it has 2 acceleration tokens on it. It's getting worse. So it starts with 5 threat on it. First player action, exhaust the Milano and remove 3 threat from the scheme. Well, we're probably going to need to do that. Otherwise, we're just going to threat out way too soon. But then the text on here says, place X times number of players additional threat on Pincer Maneuver, where X is equal to 3 minus the recorded number on the evasion counter section of the campaign log. Well, I ended against Nebula. She only had 1 evasion counter on her, and I thought I was doing good, but I wasn't, because now I have to take 3 minus 1, so I have to add an additional 2, so it begins with 7 threat. Too much threat. Too much threat to contend with. And we're not done yet, so I shuffled the Badoon Headhunter into my deck, as well as I had a 1, so I put On the Hunt in my encounter deck as well. Expert campaign only. Set each player's hit points to the remaining hit points in the campaign log. Well, my remaining hit points was 9. So Spider Woman, she begins with 11. So I was 2 hit points shy of being full strength. But then it says that I can subtract 1 unit from my unspent units, which I had 1 left after I bought my cards. So it allows me to bump that all the way back up to 11. So, all right, and it says expert campaign only. Place an additional 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay. And expert campaign only. If players lose this game, Ronan the Accuser claims the Power Stone, and the players lose the campaign. All right. So there's a little bit of a setup there. Sorry it took 10 minutes, looks like, to explain all of that. But there is a lot going on here. So we bring Jessica Drew out onto the table, and she begins the game with 11 hit points. You remember that she begins the game with the Power Stone, and she also has the Milano that she's going to be able to use. And as far as my deck is concerned, the 3 additional cards that I bought throughout the campaign was a Defy Danger, which is deal 5 damage to an enemy and discard the top card of the encounter deck. Take 1 damage for each boost icon discarded this way. Onrush, which is, this card says when revealed from the encounter deck, cancel the effects of that card and discard it. And we also have Close Call, which is when a boost card is turned face up, cancel that card's boost ability and all of its boost icons, then discard it and draw 1 card. So I'll go ahead and shuffle those into my play deck and give my deck a shuffle. So I have 40 cards plus 3, 43 cards in my deck today. Pardon me. I'll just give my encounter deck a quick shuffle too as well. And we're ready to play. So Jessica Drew is going to begin with a hand size of 6. So we draw 1 way or another. One of my favorite cards in the game. Sorry about the lighting here. A little oppressive, isn't it? Pheromones, stun and confuse an enemy. Love that card. Clear the area. Another good card. Strength. Excellent. 1 way or another, probably not so good because I can only play 1 of those per round. And Self-Propelled Guide. I like that one too. So I think the only card that I'm going to mulligan on my first turn here is 1 way or another because I don't need 2 of those. And so I draw a Finesse card, which I've used not for their intent and purpose throughout the campaign. It just seems like this campaign I'm just always chasing my tail with maximizing my card plays. All right, so we will begin by playing, well, so Jessica Drew, she says that I can look at the top card of a deck. I'll look at the top card of my deck. It's Pheromones. I already have 1 of those. So that's one that I do like to use against Ronan. I've played Ronan in the past. I've been successful against him a couple of times, and that's a card that's really helpful if I can get past that universal weapon, which I can. It just takes a little bit extra work on my part. So let's go ahead and play 1 way or another. Now the way that it's a hero action, so I need to flip over to Spider-Woman. The way that I remind myself of which aspects I've played, because her ability, she's superhuman agility, interrupt. When you play an aspect card, Spider-Woman gets +1 thwart, attack, and defense until the end of the round. Limit once for each. It's round for each. So she's played a Justice card, which allows me to go find a encounter deck for a side scheme, reveal that side scheme, and draw 3 cards. So the side scheme that I am going to look for today is Superior Tactics. Says when revealed, attach the Power Stone to Ronan the Accuser. If it is already attached to him, place 1 threat here. So it starts with 2 threat. Shuffle my encounter deck. And he gets to take the Power Stone, which I'm okay with that right now, I think. Because remember, he says that he gets an additional boost card if I control the Power Stone. So that's going to switch over to Ronan. So now he's got the universal weapon and the Power Stone. All right. And so I get to draw 3 more cards with that one way or another. So we're going to add that pheromones card that we looked at into our hand, Kalu, and another self-propelled guide. So I really like the self-propelled guide because if we build up her strength, the way that you beat Ronan is you gotta burn him down. You almost can't be too distracted by all the stuff that he's trying to sling at you, but he's not easy. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is, or I guess it's the next thing I'm going to do, is I will exhaust. No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of that universal weapon. So attached to Ronan the Accuser, take 2 damage. I have to take 2 damage in order to do that, and I deal myself an additional encounter card. But I can shuffle this now into my encounter deck. The reason I did that is because he's stalwart, and I can't do anything with the pheromones as long as he's in that stalwart mode. But that's about the only way you can survive against Ronan, is to try to stun and confuse him as much as you can. All right. So we'll go ahead and play pheromones. Go ahead and do that now. Yep, pheromones. So it's a blue aspect. So I'm going to put a blue cube here on Spider-Woman. We're going to stun and confuse Ronan the Accuser. Stunned and confused. Then we need to knock that tough card off of Ronan if we're going to try to attack him. So I'm going to use pheromones and finesse to put out Kalu. Yep. Pheromones and finesse to put him out. And whenever I do that, it allows me to search the top 5 cards of my deck for an event and add that event to your hand and shuffle your deck. So we get to look at Nick Fury, Make the Call, Jessica Drew's Apartment, Venom Blast, love the Venom Blast, and Maria Hill. I think I'm going to leave Venom Blast behind for a moment. I like to do that damage, but I don't think I'm going to be able to just yet. I'm going to have to use a card that's a resource. So we're going to take Make the Call into my hand. Or Maria Hill. Yeah, we'll leave Maria Hill in the deck. Make the Call. We're going to use that as a resource. Shuffle my deck up here. So now Spider-Woman, Kalu. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do, let's see. Really would love to get that pincer maneuver off of him, but I also really want to do the damage. 1, 2, 3. Got to move the tough card. I got to get the tough card off of him. So we're going to do 1 damage. Consequential damage to Kalu to remove that tough card off of Ronan the Accuser. And then we're going to play Clear the Area. We'll exhaust the Milano to do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll exhaust the Milano to play Clear the Area. So that'll remove 2 threat from a scheme. So let's take the 2 off of here. Off of the interception imminent. Right? Yeah, well, no, because I need to take 2 off in order to be able to draw that extra card. So we'll just get rid of Superior Tactics for now. Superior Tactics is gone. Clear the Area. Whenever you play Clear the Area, it allows you to draw an additional card. So we got Nick Fury. Oh boy. Didn't really want to draw Nick right now, but we did. So Spider Woman is going to attack Ronan the Accuser for 3 damage. So that knocks him down to 11. And now I get this Power Stone back. All right. And then we're going to reset Spider Woman with Make the Call.
Captain, incoming message.
Sorry about my phone message there. So now that she's reset, she can do 1, 2, 3, 4 damage to Ronan the Accuser. 1, 2, 3, 4, which will knock him down to 7. And then finally, we can play another self-propelled guide to reset Spider-Woman yet again. So she's back upright again to do 4 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage to Ronan. Oh, I want to do it to myself. 4 more damage. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage to Ronan the Accuser. So we did 4, 4, and 3. And so that's 11 damage. And he started out at 14. So we have Ronan down to 3 now. And he's still stunned and confused. So we'll reset our Milano, Kalu, Spider Woman, and we have the Power Stone. So we'll go ahead and draw our 5 cards. So we draw Blade, Strength in Numbers, Self-Propelled Guide, Make the Call, and another Strength in Numbers. So that's our hand going into the next round. So we will begin by placing 2 threat onto Interception Imminent. And then we'll have to put 2 more threat on there because of the pincer maneuver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we thread out on that first one. And then it reads on take what is mine. When revealed, attach the Power Stone to Ronan the Accuser. If it is already attached to him, give him 1 face down boost card. So the Power Stone is going to go back over to Ronan now. And then we flip over to this side. And it says that whenever we reach 10, that it's over. It says, while the Power Stone is attached to Ronan the Accuser, threat cannot be removed from the scheme. If the scheme is completed, the players lose the game. And it comes into play with 1 threat on it. All right. So now we go to all of the encounter cards. We deal ourselves 1 because we have reached that stage. And then we have 2 more because of the Kree command ship and Kree supremacy. So I have 5 encounter cards to deal with now. So our first one reads, you stand accused. Oh, he was stunned, remember? He was stunned, so that's why he didn't attack us. And so you stand accused after Ronan the Accuser attacks you with +1 attack. So we're going to jump out in front with Kalu. And so he has the Power Stone and 2. Adds this, attach the Power Stone to Ronan the Accuser. So he does 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. And we're going to lose our ally. Sorry, buddy. He's gone. Next, we draw a Single-Minded Fury. When revealed, Ronan the Accuser attacks a player who controls the Power Stone, even if that player is in alter ego form. If no attack was made, this card gains Surge. So we're going to deal ourselves another encounter card. Next, we have Uncertain Loyalties. You may flip to alter ego form, choose to exhaust Jessica Drew, remove Uncertain Loyalties from the game. I think we'll do that. We'll flip and exhaust Jessica Drew. And now that's removed from the game. Next, we draw the Badoon Headhunter. So he comes out onto the table. We draw Special Delivery. Alter Ego, you may exhaust the Milano. If you do not, the villain schemes with +1 scheme. No, we don't want him scheming today. So we'll go ahead and exhaust the Milano. That's fine. And then our last encounter card is Alter Ego, this card gains Surge. And it surges into Kree Philosophy, which is another surge. Give Ronan the Accuser a tough status card. If he already has a tough status card, take 1 damage. So now he's tough again. And it's a surge as well. And that leads us to cut the power, boost, choose to either exhaust the Milano or place 2 threat on the main scheme. Well, it's a boost card, but this is just simply going into play with 3 threat on it. And it's a crisis icon, so I can't take any threat off of the main scheme, which I can anyway while he has the Power Stone. Right? I believe so. While the Power Stone is attached to Ronan the Accuser, threat cannot be removed from the scheme. It comes into play with 3 threat on it. Okay, so that's all the encounter cards. And now we will try to get some done here. So Jessica Drew is exhausted. So is the Milano. I could go use Make the Call to go find Nick Fury, which will allow us to draw some more cards, and that might help us along the way. So why don't we try to do that? We'll first flip over to our Spider-Woman side. We'll play Make the Call, which is a leadership. So we'll mark her with that. Play Make the Call to go grab Nick Fury from the discard pile. We saw him there earlier. Nick Fury is coming out. All right. And that allows us to go in and to draw 3 more cards. So we got Close Call, interrupt when a boost is done. That's kind of a resource at this point. Inconspicuous, remove a total of 3 threat from among schemes in play. And Ironheart. So we could put Ironheart onto the table. And that will allow us to draw an extra card. I'm not sure how helpful that will be right now, but it will allow us to... Don't have anything stopping us from attacking Ronan the Accuser. I think I want to. I think I want to do that. So we'll do that. We'll put out Ironheart. She's going to attack Ronan the Accuser to knock off... Well, no, I draw a card, see what we get. Stinger. Boy, it'd be nice to put her out too. But I can't right now. Don't have any more resources, so we'll just hang on to that card for the moment. We'll exhaust Ironheart for 1 damage onto Ronan. That just removes a tough card. And then we will exhaust Nick Fury to do 2 damage to Ronan. And that'll take him down to 1. And let's hang on to Stinger for now. Yeah, I guess we can't. No, let's get rid of Stinger. We got to put some consequential damage on these guys. We'll ready them up, and we'll draw up our hand size of 5. All right, so we have the Venom Blast. Like it. Another Venom Blast. Love it. Finesse. Clear the area. And multitasking. Okay. All right. So we add 2 4 threat. To the main scheme over here. Ronan the Accuser is going to attack Spider-Woman. Nick Fury jumps out in the way. So Nick Fury is going to take the damage. We draw 2, 3, 4, 5 damage to Nick Fury. So he's gone. Sorry, Nick. We lose Nick. And then the Badoon Headhunter is going to attack Spider-Woman. He is villainous, so he gets a boost card for this. So we draw this activation is an attack against piercing, so he's going to attack for 3. So Spider Woman will take 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. Gets her down to 6. And all right. So we deal ourselves 3 encounter cards now. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. We'll look at that first one that we dealt. You stand accused. Ronan the accuser schemes with +1, or he attacks if I'm in hero form. So I could cancel this by exhausting the Milano and spending a resource. Let's see if I want to do that. You know, I'm at 6 right now. So why don't I just try to let that go through? So he's at 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I block it, I can block it for 2, and I'm sitting at 6. So there stands a good chance that I could get beat up on this one. Pretty bad. But I want to keep as many resources as possible so that I can pull off 2 of these Venom Blasts. That's the only way I'm going to be able to defeat Ronan the Accuser, is by being able to play both of these cards, I think. So I'm just going to let that happen. We're going to go ahead and take it. We'll draw our card. It's a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we block 2 of it. So Spider Woman gets knocked out for 2. All right, so our next encounter card reads, it's a pincer maneuver. Exhaust the Milano, remove 3 threat. Because wow, these are going to be very oppressive. And I don't think I have a way to beat Ronan this next time around. Let me see what I got here in my hand again. I've got finesse, clear the area, multitasking. Ugh. So 5 threat goes on to that pincer maneuver. I can exhaust the Milano and play clear the area to get rid of it, which is what we may have to end up doing. And maybe hanging on to those Venom Blasts for another turn. Just thinking out loud. And then let's see what our last encounter card is. It's a Kree Lieutenant. He's a guard, stalwart. This character cannot be stunned or confused. So that's not good. So we may be removing threat this time around, if possible. Didn't really want to do that. But that's where we're at. Okay. This gets 5. 2 plus 3.
Captain. Incoming message.
I'm going to mute my phone just for a moment. Sorry about that. Okay. Spider-Woman's turn. She's exhausted. Ironheart. Do I have a tough... Did I end up with a tough card on him? No? So let's do it. Let's do this. Let's exhaust Ironheart to knock Ronan the Accuser down to 0. So we've defeated stage 1 of Ronan the Accuser. Oh no, I can't do that because I have Stalwart. So we can't defeat him as long as that guy's on the table. So we got to get rid of that Kree Lieutenant. Looks like this game may have me beat. Let's just see. Guard and Stalwart. The Kree Lieutenant. He may have been the guy that did me in here. 5 plus 1 still wouldn't knock him out. And then I've got threat to deal with. So I really think the game is probably over. Remove 2 threat and do 2 threat. And I can't remove threat from this while he has the Power Stone. I can't attack him while the Kree Lieutenant's there. I can't take any threat off anything. Looks like I'm in a really bad spot in this game. So Let's just play it out, see what happens. Let's see what happens. So we'll do multitasking. So we'll do Iron Heart. We'll do one thwart with Iron Heart. Oh well, we got the Milano too. Why don't we exhaust the Milano? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll exhaust the Milano to remove 3 threat from the pincer maneuver. And that leaves 2 on it. All right. And then we can play Finesse to play Clear the Area. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on the scheme, draw a card. So this pincer maneuver is completed. And so I get to draw a card. And I draw Strength in Numbers. Strength in Numbers, if I exhaust Ironheart, will allow me to draw a card. Anyway, multitasking. So now I'm going to be putting 1, 2, 3, 4 threat onto the main scheme on my next turn. So that's helpful. Let's do that. Let's exhaust Ironheart. See what happens. Exhaust Ironheart to draw another card. And we draw Endurance with Endurance, we'll play Multitasking. We'll take 2 threat from. Oh no, I got to use a. I don't have the resource for it. It has to, in order to take resource threat off of a scheme. Off of 2 schemes, you have to use a mental resource. I don't have that. Venom Blast. Yeah, and I gotta leave Ironheart alone. She's got to be here for me. I guess Endurance might be a good card to play now. Give me some more health. 1, 2, 3 health because of Endurance. And we'll use our multitasking to play Endurance. And we'll just hang on to those Venom Blasts. We'll just take those in the next turn if there is a such thing. And so we will end our turn by drawing 3 cards. Should I flip? If I flip, the game's over 2. Because we'll put 2, 2, and then these guys. Ronan's confused, so he won't. Let's ready everything and see what we get. Draw 3 cards. Would be nice if they're resources. Jessica Drew's Apartment. Contaminant Immunity. And Onrush. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Good card. All right. So, Ronan the Accuser. Placing threat. I'm going to put 4 threat onto Take What Is Mine. That gets us within 1. Ronan the Accuser is going to attack, so Ironheart's going to jump out in front of it. He attacks for, if this activation is attack, this attack gains piercing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack onto Ironheart. So Ironheart is defeated. And then the Badoon Headhunter is going to attack Spider-Woman. We'll just draw the card. It's 1 + 1 is 2 damage on the Spider-Woman. 1, 2. And then the Kree Lieutenant is going to attack Spider-Woman for 1. And again, we get 3 encounter cards dealt to us. 1, 2, 3. What are they? What could they be? Shadows of the Past. For real? Okay. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Let's do that. Get out of here. Next, we have a Kree Commando. Patrol. While this minion is engaged with you, cannot thwart the main screen. Yeah, we're not doing that anyway. So you just got another guy on the table. And the last one is Peril. While you're resolving this card, other players cannot help you. So everybody remain silent. Exhaust the Milano, spend 2 mental resources, or deal 3 damage to the first player. I'm gonna take the damage. What in the world? Why not? 1, 2, 3. We live to see another day. Not much of a day, but we do live to see one more round. We have the Milano. Oh, and we got to clear our cube. Venom Blast. I think this party's over. Venom Blast, Jessica Drew. Contaminant Immunity. Heal 3 damage from Spider-Woman and give her a tough status card. She's on her own right now. That and that. Pay for that. I can't pay for that. Ooh, it's bad. 3 damage, give her a tough status card. That's a big problem right there, is I can't do the big damage because of the guard in the way. I gotta spend so much just to knock him out. And we're too close on threat to be able to do anything because we've got this Kree soldier out there. We've got another villain on the table. Critical encounters, you guys will be glad. All right, so I don't want to give up just yet. Let's just do something. Let's do a Venom Blast onto that guard. So we do 5 damage to him. Five damage to the Kree Lieutenant. That's takes care of that. 1. And the other Venom Blast to pay for it. Next, we will do 2 damage to this guy to knock him out. And I know it's over, guys. So I'll just put down my apartment. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna relax. Let's just look through the top 5 cards just to see what it would have been. 3, 4, and 5. There's the resources that I was needing. All right. So the end of my turn means the beginning of Ronan's turn. We're 1 threat away. It just takes 1 beginning of the round to finish me off. So that ends my Marvel Champions Galaxy's Most Wanted campaign. I will say that I had a wonderful time playing it this time. I had much better results this time around than I had in the past. I'm really proud of the fact that my deck made it intact all the way up to this point, and that I was able to nearly knock out stage 1 of Ronan the Accuser. I had no delusions at all of winning whatsoever, but I did have fun, and so I'm glad that I took it back out of the box, and I'm willing to try it again. But if I go by the expert rules, I'll read one last rule while I'm here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's right back here. Expert campaign only. If the players lose this game, Ronan the Accuser claims the Power Stone. Good for you. And the players lose the campaign. So there you go. Enjoy it. Thanos is going to take it away from you anyway. So just have fun with it while you can, Ronan. You guys can just drive off into the sunset together with it. And so that ends my campaign. It was great. Thanks for watching this playthrough today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd also like to thank the Critical Encounters podcast crew for encouraging me to break this one back out and play with it again. They won't know that probably, but thank you, fellas, for bringing life to the game. That's how I put it. If you'd like to contact me, you can contact me at my email is boardgamelawyer@gmail.com. Feel free to like and subscribe to my videos if you enjoy watching them. And thank you so much for watching them. Please stay safe, and I hope to bring you another video again soon.